Hey everybody, welcome back in my head channel. I'm your host Brent, and I have my co-host Carla with me in this video. Carla, how you doing?
I'm good, good. How are you doing?
Good. A little bit of deja vu right now, isn't it? Me and Carla have just been sitting here talking for about the last 40 minutes, and somebody forgot to hit the record button. So we're doing it again, but we're not going to be as long-winded on. We got into this big whole thing about current events, and we're going to touch on some things, but we're going to leapfrog on them. We're not going to get down in them like we were in our discussion. And I really hate that you guys missed that. Yeah, but it was current events. It wasn't actually the meat of what we're going to be doing today. But today we're going to be talking about the tracks that we would have chosen for a Kiss Greatest Hits album. They're based on albums that came out from 74 to 79. Studio albums only, no compilations, no greatest hits albums, no solo albums, no live albums. Just basically the first three albums, the second three albums, and Dynasty. So we're going to be doing that. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So stick around for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Boise, Idaho. Don't touch anything!
Okay. All right. Okay. So before we get started again, I want to welcome back current subscribers and current viewers. Welcome back to the channel. If you're a new viewer, welcome. Well, it's good to have you. Hope you consider sticking around for a little while and subscribing. And if you're watching the video and you like what you see, be sure to hit subscribe, like, and comment down in the comment section. I have a feeling the comment section is going to be quite active on this video based on the subject matter, what we're going to be working on. We're basically been doing the greatest hits, and I don't know exactly how the two of us are coming at it. I know how I'm coming at it, but I don't know how Carla's going to come at it. We've not talked about it ahead of time. We just said 20 songs, pick them from the studio albums from this date, from this album to this album, and there we go. But like again, welcome back to all the current viewers, new viewers. Thank you to my Patreon subscribers. Your names are scrolling across the screen. They get exclusive content, early content. And I am 60 subscribers away from 4,000 subscribers. So whenever I hit 4,000 subscribers on YouTube, not on Patreon. Patreon, I have a handful. But on YouTube, I have 60 away from 4,000. Once I get that, I'm going to give away something. I'm going to give away Gene right here, this Mego doll. I'm going to give Gene away. He's my second Gene in my collection. So I'm going to give Gene away and to a lucky subscriber. And I think that's one stipulation that I'm going to have is that person needs to be a subscriber that wins. But we will. I'll be giving that away sometime once I hit 4,000 subscribers. So also check out my TeePublic shop down the bottom and check out Critical Kiss. This month coming up, we're going to be doing Rock and Roll Over. So we're looking forward to that. So this is what we were talking about whenever Carla realized that we had not been recording. We had talked about everything that has happened since we last saw each other. So I'm going to go over those things, and then me and Carla may touch on some things. So we talked about the Dress to Kill. Well, there was a redesign of the Kiss website. And then they first thing they put up for sale was like a $50,000 or a $5,000 it was $50,000, wasn't it? Yeah, it was $50,000. Gold record or something. Yeah. Crazy amount. And then they put out the off the soundboard, and we were talking about that whenever we realized we had talked about some other stuff, but kind of going in chronological order. They put out the off the soundboard and with a bundle, and we were talking about how we hated bundles. At least I do. And then we were talking about how on the merch that Gene and Paul were the only people on the merch, and that was weird.
Mhm.
And that got pulled.
And now those are going to be worth money.
Now those are going to be worth money because now you didn't want them to begin with, and now they pulled it, and now you know you're going to want it, and they're going to show up on eBay for $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked about the Dress to Kill audio tour. That, and I don't think neither one of us had listened to it. We talked about that, and I'm looking forward to listening to it. Oh, we also talked about my daughter had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
My fifth grandchild. Her name is, and it's funny because I keep forgetting her name, Nora. I want to say Hannah, but because that's the name I thought it was going to be. Nora is her name. 7 pounds, 2 ounces, 20 inches long. Mom and baby are doing great. Dad's hanging in there. And she has a squeal. When she cries, she hits a register that I think makes his eye twitch a little bit. But she's great. And so we talked about the audio tour and talked about how that's just a really cool event that they did. I think that's really cool. It gave people an opportunity to come back together for the Dress to Kill. We didn't get the Dress to Kill box set that we wanted, and that was kind of disappointing. We don't really know what box set we're going to get. We're supposed to be getting 2, and people are speculating what they are. That it could be Alive, it could be Unmasked, it could be Dress to Kill, it could be Asylum, because those are the ones with like big anniversaries. But they've missed the anniversary of Dress to Kill, so if they put it out later in the year, it would be weird. So who knows? We talked about that Gene has canceled shows recently, and it was rumored low ticket sales, but we don't really know what the reasons are. And then we talked about the Kiss Storms Vegas, the 3-night stay in the Virgin Hotel in Las Vegas, Unmasked show by Kiss, performances by Bruce, pre-sale for Kiss Army VIP members going up on March 27th. General public sales April 7th. And you have to be a member of the Kiss Army VIP to get pre-sale information and possibly buy your tickets early. And I do want to sit on this for just a minute because we kind of glossed over everything else, and we've got a few minutes to sit on this if you don't mind. We were talking about what we think this is going to be, and I want you to kind of go over talk about what you talked about, what you think it's going to be.
Yeah, I kind of think that because it's going to be unmasked. It's my dog. If you hear my dog in the background, I think because it's going to be unmasked. For me, I'm wondering if it's almost going to be like Unplugged, like another Unplugged, especially because with the first Unplugged, there were surprise guests, right? And they had different members of the band for different songs. And so I'm wondering if it's going to kind of be that same thing. That's kind of what my guess is. I don't think it's going to be a big announcement. I don't think they're going to be going on tour like this. I think it's just going to be this Vegas convention. But from what I understand, or from what I get from the announcement, it's going to kind of be like an Unplugged, which I think is awesome. If they did that again, that'd be really cool. Yeah.
We had talked about how, to me and a couple other people I'd talked to, I talked to Rick from It's All For You Demon a lot, and Xander for Kiss Army Things a lot. He's the one that actually sent this screenshot that I have talking about everything that it's going to be, what it is. And it says it's something about this exclusive Everything Kiss Paradise marks the first time Kiss has performed together since retiring from touring. Full schedules of activities will be announced, but fans can expect live performances from former Kiss member Bruce Kulick, along with other special guests, interactive activities, which that could be anything, exclusive experiences, and more. And it says it includes the packages include a 3-night stay at the Virgin Hotel, unmasked photo with Kiss, access to the Kiss Unmasked live show, Q&A with members of KISS, all KISS content, panels, and activities, a curated KISS Army Storms Vegas gift, a signed poster, photos with KISS memorabilia, and a collective laminate and lanyard. And I think it was Rick that said when we were talking that it sounds like possibly like a KISS cruise on land.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, to me, it seems like it should be something very much like a KISS convention, since it's marking the birth of the KISS Army and the birth of the convention, the fan conventions. It would seem cool to me that if it's going to be those 3 days, I mean, what are you going to do all those 3 days? And it seemed like it'd be real cool if they have people that have booths there and are selling things, and like what the conventions used to be. Mm-hmm. And I know it was panels and QAs and stuff like, and performances. And so hopefully it's what everything that conventions used to be. Now, me, unfortunately, I never went to a KISS convention. Whenever all the convention craze was going on back in the 90s, I had a job. I worked in the movie entertainment industry, and I was constantly on sets. I was constantly traveling, and I was constantly on sets working in the lighting department. And so I never got to go to any of these things. I was working, 12 to 16 weeks on a movie or a show, 12 to 16 hours a day. And I never got to go to any of the conventions. So, and I unfortunately probably will not get to go to this one, because me and you talked about earlier when we weren't being recorded, was that I don't think this is going to be cheap. I think this is going to be something that's going to be I think it's going to be something that's going to be out of the general KISS fans' reach. But it really would be maybe like, they said they're going to have packages. So right. Wouldn't it be cool if you can get a package where you just get the tickets and you don't care if you're staying in the hotel or not? Mm-hmm. You just get a ticket, a day pass. Because a lot of conventions you can get like a day pass. You can get a pass for day 1, day 2, day 3, the whole thing. You can get the package where you're staying in the hotel. And then they have stuff like you can add on. You can add on to go to the live performances or to go to the QAs. Who knows? Who really knows? It's fun to speculate, because we were talking about how it is a fun time to be a KISS fan, because they've done all this, everything we've talked about and even more has come to light in like the last 3 months, mm-hmm. where we went through 2024 and had nothing. And so now here we are. By the time this video comes out, this pre-sale stuff will be out there. This information will be out there. So I plan on Future Brant's going to probably pop in at any given time at some point in time and say, hey, this is what it actually ended up being. Hey, Future Brant jumping in here. So today is the 27th. It is Thursday. And I recorded this video with Carla on Monday. So we are 4 days past. And today it was released exactly what this is going to be, with all of the details, all the package information. Pre-sale goes on sale tomorrow, which will be the 27th. So by the time this video loads on Saturday, it will be already past the pre-sale. And so I wanted to throw in here, this looks like it is something between, if you scroll down at the very bottom, it looks like it is between Pophouse, Topeka, and Vibe. It's like a conglomeration type thing, celebrating 50 years of the KISS Army Storms Vegas. And you see here Virgin Hotels, Las Vegas, shows the countdown. Currently it's about 9:40 p.m. It shows it's 12 hours, 19 minutes. These go on sale. It says it goes on sale at 7 a.m. Pacific time, which is 11 o'clock Eastern time. And it shows that you can upgrade to the KISS VIP, which is $50 if you don't have it. And I understand there's going to be about 25 to 3,000 tickets. somewhere around there. The Kiss Army Fan pre-sale begins April the 2nd, and General goes on sale on the 7th. So if you scroll down to the bottom here, if we scroll down, it says it's high voltage, full throttle celebration of everything Kiss, featuring a fan takeover, Virgin Hotels, Kiss Unmasked electric shows featuring Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, and special guests. Doesn't name Eric, Singer, and Tommy by name. QAs with members of Kiss, which is members of Kiss. Who is that? And Doc McGee, including guest performances. Whose guest performances, including Bruce Kulick. So I'm thinking that some of these people are not going to be, maybe not necessarily members of KISS, the special guests, activities, panels, and much more. So it says you want the best, you got the best. The signature features are included with every package. So you get a 3-night hotel stay, that's included. You get the Unmasked show, electric show with Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, special guest. There are some upgrades we'll talk about that are also you basically it upgrades where you're going to be sitting. QAs with members of KISS and Doc McGee, a Bruce Kulick show, KISS Storms Vegas poster signed by members of the band, photo with KISS memorabilia, access to artist sets, curated KISS Storms Vegas gift, access to activities and panels, collectible lanyard and laminate. Choose your experience. So here's the packages. So for essentially $1,000, $1,109 per person, this is per person after taxes and fees, you get all the signature features, one convenient bundle, KISS Unmasked electric set with choice of ticket in loft section. So then you scroll down for total of $1,389 per person. You get everything in the bundle before, plus the Unmasked electric set with a choice of a ticket in the orchestra seated or general admission lofts. General admission lofts are standing room only, from what I understand. It says right there. And then you come on down, and it says everything in the 2 above packages, plus you get the Unmasked electric set with a choice of a premium seat close to the stage, and you get extras: Unmasked photo, early entry to member Q&As, early entry to panels, early access to the merch store, private car service to and from the airport, and a on-site Vibey experience concierge. And that starts at $28.29 per person. And then you come down, the ultimate experience package is everything above, plus you get in the electric set, you get a choice of a premium seat in the gold circle closest to the stage, early entry and priority seating to the QAs, access to the sound check, a KISS Unmasked signed set list, commemorative KISS event coin. And that is $5,149 per night. Now, I'm assuming that, of course, there's the higher tiers, there's going to be less of. I'm expecting this to sell out, honestly. I'm expecting it to sell out. I think that a lot of fans are going to go after the $1,000. I know some people, I've talked to some people that's going to go for the next level up. The $1,389, they're going for that. And I'm not going. I'm not really interested in this, and I'm not poo-pooing it, and I'm not going to talk crap about it. I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to talk crap about it, at least publicly, on my channel. I may have my own opinions with my friends that I chat with, and that's our private conversations. But I feel like this was just kind of sprung, and it is this year. This is less than like 8 months away, and I couldn't even come up with $1,100 to do this with everything I've got planned for the rest of the year. I couldn't come up with this to do this, but I'm sure there'll be a lot more news about it and everything. I don't want to make this video much longer than it already is by talking of my opinions about this. But this is one of those things that if you have the money to do it and you want to do it, great, go do it. If you don't have the money to go do it, then maybe better luck next time. I like that, like me and Carla said, that Kiss is doing things. And I think it's really cool that Pophouse is doing things. And I'm excited about what the future holds. I will say real quick that my Off the Soundboard has shipped, and it will be here sometime this week. My next video is going to be a review showing my album, showing the shirt that I got and the poster that comes with it, and reviewing the Off the Soundboard album will be my video next week. All right, so back to past Brant and Carla. Back to the video. So it's going to be really cool to see how this unfolds and what else is in store. Because this was not on, they say on your bingo card, a Kiss fan convention with Kiss performing unmasked was not on my bingo card. A $50,000 gold Strutter record was not on my bingo card. That's actually playable. 2 box sets, although we don't know what they are, was not on my bingo card. We didn't know if we were just questioning one of the last videos that I made with somebody. We were questioning last year if the Off the Soundboard was even going to continue, or if that's it. Is it done?
Right.
And now it's not done, and apparently this isn't the last. There's going to be others. I think they talked about maybe 3 Off the Soundboards, and very era specific. So now here we are. We got an Asylum one, and I'm looking forward to this because I went to the Asylum show. It was the 4th show in Charlotte, it was the 4th show on the tour. And I loved that set list and that stage. And Bruce sounded great on that tour. The whole band sounded great on that tour. So I'm looking forward to this Off the Soundboard. I bought it, even though not being able to buy bundles, I bought it. And I got the shirt. The shirt was actually that came with the bundle was the least cringy of the 3 to me. Because it had like the steer skull on it and the 2 guitars crossed. It was very, 90s metal look to it. But the shirts that they pulled with just Gene and Paul from the album cover, the front of the cover, and the 2 of them figures from the back, it's like those shirts were very cringy to me. So I can understand why they pulled them. And then we talked about just before, I think we were talking about the time that we realized we weren't recording, was that a lot of people have already spoke out in criticism about Kiss and being at this Kiss Storms Vegas. Honestly, I don't really know, since they sold the brand and Pophouse is kind of, you got UMG, Universal doing the music side, and Pophouse is kind of over everything and subbing things out, and they're doing all these different ideas, things like this. I don't really know how much Kiss is involved. I don't know how much Gene and Paul are, because there is no Kiss anymore when it comes to Gene and Paul. That brand and that name all belongs to Pophouse, but it could be something almost like, the George Foreman grill. George Foreman didn't invent for years. I thought George Foreman invented the George Foreman grill. He didn't. He was just a spokesman. Because he said, "Try my George Foreman grill." I thought, wow, George Foreman made a grill. So I think that this is something that they probably, hey, why don't we do this? And as part of this, you guys can show up and you can do these things. And of course, Gene and Paul had to agree to it, and they're going to make money doing it. And they had to agree to it, and Tommy and Eric had to agree to it, and Bruce had to agree to it. So but do I think that they were very heavily involved in the planning of it or the inception of it? I don't think so. I think that they're not going to be there. They may be Pophouse may ask them their thoughts about something, or who knows really what the inside deal is, that Gene and Paul may actually still have to sign off on things. I mean, who really knows? We may never know all of that information,
Right. Yeah.
So that's what we did for like 45 minutes. We condensed it down into about 10 minutes, 20 minutes. So we cut the time in half. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about our greatest hits list, 20 tracks. And I'm going to let Carla go first every time. And we will talk about why we put a song on here, why, whatever we want to talk about each song. I will say that this is the spin that I went on mine, and then I'll let Carla talk about her spin, and then talk about since we're going in no particular order, it's not a greatest hits. Like my number one track is the greatest hit. It's not anything like that. At least as far as I'm concerned, it's not. Mine's just a random listing of songs that. What my list is, if I had the 3 albums or the 7 albums, Kiss, Hotter Than Hell, Dressed to Kill, Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun, and Dynasty, have those albums to pick 20 songs off of, and I want somebody to know these are the songs that I think off these albums that you should hear. That's what I did. That's what my 20 are. What's the direction you went? I can't wait to find out.
Mine is literally just like, I want to burn a CD, and I want to burn a CD with my favorite Kiss songs. Some are singles, some are deep cuts. There is no chronological order to mine. It's all random. It's all mixed up, but it's just my greatest hits in terms of like what my favorite songs are out of those 7 albums. So there's really no rhyme or reason to it.
So you went the direction of these are your personal 20 greatest hits. These are the best of these albums.
Yep.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. And I guess, like I said, I probably went the same direction with mine too, because I would pick for a fan if I was going to let somebody else or somebody that didn't know anything about Kiss. These would be songs that would probably be favorites of mine, because if they're favorites of mine, I want to share them with somebody else.
Right.
Okay. All right. So what's your first one?
Okay. So no one's going to like my first one, and I don't care because it's my greatest hits, right? I just put it at number 1 because it was just the first one I thought of. You probably already know what it is. It was, it is off of Destroyer, Great Expectations, number 1.
I knew it was going to be.
Don't shut off the video yet, viewers. It'll get better, I promise.
I knew it was going to be somewhere on your list. I knew it was.
Yep. I'm getting all red. If you can see, I'm getting all red, but I'm not embarrassed.
No, this is your list.
Exactly.
And if they don't like our list, they can put their list down in the comments.
Please do.
Yeah. My number 1, I kind of went in a little bit of a chronological order because I started with the first album. My list was originally like 40 songs because I just went on Kiss discography, and I pulled up each album, and I just started typing in names of songs.
Yeah.
And went all the way through Dynasty, and by the time I got done, I had probably a little more than 40. I'm like, okay, time to pare these down. And I pared them down to 20. I had 23 as of about 2 hours before we filmed this. I had 23 songs. I had to cut down 3 more. So since I did mine in that order, I'm just going to start with the first album. So the first song that I picked off the first album, to me, that I think is great, it's one of the greatest, is Cold Gin.
Mm-hmm.
So what about number 2 for you?
My number 2, off of Dress to Kill. Again, I didn't go in any order, so this is totally random. But my number 2 off of Dress to Kill is She. I love that song. I want to be she. I love her. Yeah, I love that song. And it's definitely a song that I think anybody should listen to if they want to get into Kiss, because it's so different than a lot of their radio singles. And it really shows their versatility, and it really shows, I think it's a great representation of the makeup era, because the makeup era, especially when they first came out, they were so dark and mysterious and people were afraid, you know what I mean? And that song, I feel like, pairs perfectly with the mystique of early Kiss. So
very
that's
much
my number
so.
2.
Very much so. And it was a very early Kiss song. It just didn't make it until the third album. But yeah, it was all the way back to like Wicked Lester days. I love that opening line, "She walks by moonlight." But yeah, I think all men want it. Well, if you want to be if you want to be she, all men want a she. I mean, so, all right. So sticking with the first album, my second song, one of my favorite Kiss songs, not only off of the first album, but all in all, is Black Diamond. I love Black Diamond. Another woman, Black Diamond is basically a woman of the night, out on the streets for a living. So, like I said, it's another one of those songs that's kind of like She. It's a darker subject matter song, and it's very much early Kiss, Dangerous Kiss, that first era of the band encapsulated in those first 3 albums, that before the money came and the fame and the egos and the luxury, when they were still hungry, making $50 a week. Some of those songs that came from that era are so good. So Black Diamond's my second track.
My third is off of Hotter Than Hell, and it's kind of a random one. It's a deep cut. I really love it. It is a mainline. I just really like that song. It's one of my favorite Peter Criss songs. Don't really hear much about it from people, but that's a good one in my opinion. So that's my third, mainline.
Yeah. I recently my past video was me reviewing Hotter Than Hell, and going and actually showing footage from my earlier videos that I made 7 years ago. And I was really shocked how poorly that I reviewed mainline 7 years ago. And it's actually grown on me over, the past few years, in the last 7 years. I ranked it a lot higher. So my number 3, this is still on the first album. The first album's got so many classics on it. It was hard to get away from it. So my number 3 is one of my favorite Kiss songs, one of my favorite Paul Stanley songs, and that is Firehouse. Anybody knows me, they know that Firehouse was going to be on my list somewhere.
Yep.
So number 3 is Firehouse for me.
That was one that was on and off my list. When I was making my first draft, it was on, then it was off, then I put it back on. So, yeah. My number 4, this is the first single on my list, but my number 4 from Rock and Roll Over is Calling Dr. Love. Not much to say about it other than I love it, and it should be on any Kiss greatest hits album in my opinion. So that's my number 4.
My number 4, this is my last song off the first album. But my number 4 is Deuce. Deuce is a classic. It's one of those, it's like Black Diamond. It's like She. It's one of those early songs that is just so good, and Gene's so good in it. So number 4 is Deuce for me.
My number 5 is off of Dynasty, and I seriously was almost at a point where most of Dynasty was on my list. Like, I had to start taking songs off of Dynasty off my list just to give other albums a chance, because like so much of Dynasty was on my greatest hits list. And I mean, I always knew that it's one of my favorite Kiss albums. I just didn't realize how much I loved it until I started doing this. And I realized I basically have the whole album on my greatest hits list. But off of Dynasty for my number 5 is Sure Know Something. I love that song. I love how cool it is. I love the funkiness of it. It's just Paul's voice it's just mwah, brilliant. So that's my number 5.
I had a lot of Dynasty on my list too, and I had to cut it down. I had so much. There's maybe only one album that I didn't have a whole lot. It's 2 albums I really didn't have a whole bunch of tracks off of that I had to pare down. So now we moved on to Hotter Than Hell for me. So my track number 5 off of Hotter Than Hell is Parasite. Got to have Parasite on the list. So it's a rocker. It's a song sung by Gene. And so it's it's kind of almost like gang sung. Kind of, it's not really one person singing it, which is another unique thing that Kiss doesn't do very often. And it's got that cool breakdown in it that they did a lot in the very beginning, not so much as Kiss lost a lot. Some of the way that they play music changed for the better and for the worst after Destroyer. So, and they lost a lot of those little breakdowns that they did a lot in the first couple albums, especially in the first couple albums. And they kind of lost it a little bit in with Dress to Kill, but it really definitely changed after Destroyer. So Parasite is my 5th track.
My number 6 off of Love Gun. This is, people love it or they hate it. I love it. I don't care about the subject matter. I think it's a great song. Christine 16 at number 6 for me. I didn't realize I had it I should have put it at 16. What was I thinking? But either way,
that'd been fitting.
How it would have been so fitting. That's okay though. But yeah, my number 6, like I said, Christine 16.
All right. Number 6 for me, it's sticking with Hotter Than Hell. And Hotter Than Hell is one of those albums I really had to cut some songs off of. But sticking with that with me, I stuck with it, and I had to have a very creepy song, Watching You. Watching You like a demon song, limping as you do, and I'm watching you. It's just creepy. You don't really know what to do watching you. It's like one of the songs you really don't want to listen to in the dark. It's one of those songs to me it's more of a vampire song than because he's done bit into her neck and sucked some blood out of her and now she's limping.
Yeah.
So that's the visual I get.
It's a great Halloween album.
Yeah, it really is. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, my track 6 is Watching You.
That was another one that in and out, back and forth. But for my number 7, off of the debut album, I just did Strutter. Strutter's just another one that I feel should be on every greatest hits album for Kiss, no matter what. And like your list, it's a great album, or it's a great song for, again, somebody getting into Kiss, I think, to hear. I kind of forget it's on the first album sometimes because I feel like it's a lot more developed of a song than other songs off their debut. So I kind of forget sometimes that it's on their debut. But either way, Strutter, number 7 on my list.
All right. I've always thought that what if they would have put a song like She on their first album, which She seems like it actually should have been on Hotter Than Hell.
Yes. Yeah.
But what if they would have put like one of the songs off of Hotter Than Hell or Dress to Kill on the first album and put Strutter on another album? Strutter would have fit in. I would love to hear Strutter on with the Dress to Kill touch to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Strutter is definitely a Dress to Kill type album, and it'd been real cool to have that product. It would probably almost sounded like Strutter 78, but without the disco influence.
Yes.
I think it would have been because a lot of the songs on Dress to Kill are faster. So I think it would have probably been played along the lines of the Strutter 78 speed, but not have that disco influence that Strutter 78 had.
Right.
Okay, so that was your number 7?
Mhm.
Okay, so my number 7 is off of Dress to Kill, and you had it on your list as well. So this is one that we matched up. I kind of been trying to keep up with ones we matched up on, but she's got to be on the list. It
Yes.
has to be. So that's my number 7.
Yeah, I've been keeping a tally of all the songs that we've been matching with so far. My number 8, I feel like she and this song are like, they go together. Like She is the She. And then this song off of Destroyer, God of Thunder, it's like they're a couple.
Yeah.
They're together. So to me, I always kind of paired these songs with each other. But yeah, my number 8, God of Thunder.
That's awesome. I can see that. She and God of Thunder. The God of Thunder is with She.
Mm-hmm.
My number 8, sticking with Dress to Kill, is this is a classic. It is a underrated classic, but whenever you ask people what's some of your favorite songs off of Dress to Kill, this song always comes up, and that's Come On and Love Me. Such a great song.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my track number 8.
My number 9, going back to Rock and Roll Over. I think this is the last Rock and Roll Over song I have on my greatest hits list. But it's Hard Luck Woman. I know a lot of people go back and forth on this song. I really like it. I think it's a great song. Only Peter could have sung this song. Ace could not have done this.
Mhm.
Gene could not have done this. Maybe Gene, but Peter's better. It's just Peter's voice is so perfect for this song. So that's my number 9.
Yeah. Hard Luck Woman is good. My number 9 is it's off of Dress. It's my last song off of Dress to Kill, and even though this song is not the biggest favorite of mine, I think this is a song that somebody who is not a Kiss fan deserves to hear, and that would be Rock and Roll All Night. So I picked Rock and Roll All Night at my number 9 track.
Yeah, I was debating whether or not to put it on, but spoiler alert, I did not, because to me, it's like you have to hear the alive version first. For me at least, like I just feel like that version's so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you hear the studio album one, you're like, wait a minute, this is different, you know? So I feel like if you have to pick one or the other, for me, it's the alive version. But number 10, I didn't even know if this one technically could count because it's a cover, but we didn't say covers were off limits. So
right.
I put it in my greatest hits list. At number 10 off of Dynasty, 2000 Man. I love this song. I actually like it than the original version, the Rolling Stones version. I just love Ace's voice on it. I love it. So that's my number 10.
Okay. Yeah, it was allowed as long as it was one of the studio albums. Because they've got a few covers on some of these songs, on some of these albums. That brings me to my number 10. These next couple are off of Destroyer. And if you know me, you know what song this is. I have to have Detroit Rock City on my list as well. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite Kiss song. So yeah, for everything Detroit Rock City is, it had to be on my list.
My number 11, going all the way back to Hotter Than Hell. One of my favorite songs off that album for sure. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Got to Choose. I love everything about that song. That song is like perfection, in my opinion. Yeah. And had to go on my list. So that's my number 11.
Yeah, it was originally on mine, and I had to cut it. Second song off of Destroyer. If you're going to have Detroit Rock City, in my opinion, you also have to have King of the Nighttime World because they just kind of go right into each other. We talked about this in videos before. When you have these bookend songs and you have one, you have to have the other. You can't just have one bookend. You have to have them both. And although I think that Detroit Rock City is the better song of the two, these two songs pair up perfectly. So King of Nighttime World is my 11.
My number 12, we shared this because you mentioned it earlier. Off the debut album, Cold Gin at number 12 for me. And I love both versions equally. I love the Alive. I mean, every time I hear this song, whoever's singing it, I think it's good.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, Cold Gin had to go on my greatest hits list. It's great.
Okay. Let's see. Number 12, I moved on to, believe it or not, those are the only two off of Destroyer. I had to really pare this list down. Moving on to Rock and Roll Over. This is an extremely deep cut, but it is a cult fan favorite, and it had to be on my list. Mr. Speed is my number 12 for everything Mr. Speed is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Another one that was on my first list, then it was not on my second list, and it was on my third list, and it was, yeah. So we'll find out if it ended up making my list or not. But at number 13, another one that you just mentioned. So another one that we have in common off of Destroyer, Detroit Rock City. Had to put it on there. Very near and dear to my heart. So yeah. Can't really say too much about it other than it's amazing. So
yeah,
Detroit Rock City in at number 13 for me.
My number 13 track comes off of Rock and Roll Over as well. It is probably my favorite track off of Rock and Roll Over. And whenever I saw them perform it at the end of the road, I filmed it. I loved it. I almost ruined the video singing to it. But my favorite track and one of my top 5 favorite Paul Stanley songs off of Rock and Roll Over, Making Love. Love that song.
That is a good one. Yeah, I kind of always forget that's on Rock and Roll Over. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. I think because I think it's on his solo album. Don't ask him why. I have no idea. So I'm always kind of surprised when I hear it on Rock and Roll Over. Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, and I think it's the last track. I think it's the last track on Rock and Roll Over.
Number 14, another one that we have in common off of Hotter Than Hell, Parasite. Parasite. That is one that, out of my entire list, that is one of at the top where if somebody was like, what does Kiss sound like? Or what is, I've heard the radio singles, like play something a little bit more of a deep cut for me. That would be one of the first ones I would play for someone because it's so different. It could be released today and it would sound modern. It's heavy. It's fast. It's such an influence on so many musicians today. Like huge musicians like Tom Morello and Dave Grohl and it's just so many people credit that song. So yeah, it's a good one. So Parasite at number 14.
Yeah, I've always said that like Hotter Than Hell is like Kiss's like metal album. Like
it is.
It's a very Sabbathy metal album. It's probably one of the darkest and metalish albums that they made. So that brings me to number 14, and me and you had this in common. This is on your list as well earlier. But my number 14 is Calling Dr. Love. I love Calling Dr. Love. I remember the very first time I heard Calling Dr. Love was live on the Kiss Alive 2 album. I heard Alive 2 before I heard Rock and Roll Over or Love Gun. I got Destroyer, and then 2 months later, and that was only on my head, and then 2 months later, Alive 2 came out, and I got it. And then I heard all these other songs that I'd never heard before. And I remember Calling Dr. Love being one of the songs I loved. I love that cowbell coming in at the beginning of it during that riff. The riff that just kind of constructs itself and builds up into the actual them going into the first verse.
Yeah.
So Calling Dr. Love is great.
Yeah. Always makes me thirsty for a Dr. Pepper. If you know, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 15, this is another one that people aren't going to like. That's fine. Some people will, but I think most people will kind of roll their eyes at this one. Off of their debut album, Love Theme from Kiss. I love it. I know that it's not Acrobat, but it's great. I love that they put an instrumental on their debut album. I think that was a bold move. I think it was a good idea. I love it. So that's my number 15.
Okay. My number 15 is I am now on the Love Gun album, and my number 15 is one of my favorite Kiss songs of all time by one of my favorite Kiss members of all time. A little song about electricity, and so I got to have on my greatest hits. I got to have "Shock Me."
Yeah, that's a good one. You just really can't go wrong with Ace songs, in my opinion. You really can't. And that was something I ran into with this list. It was either Dynasty or Ace. So I really had to chill out.
Right.
But for my number 16, also off Love Gun, should have been Christine 16, but my number 16 is Love Gun. So it still kind of works. That's a heavy song. And it's one of those songs where it's like that opening riff.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a big Kiss fan, you've heard that before. And a lot of people know it. And even if you're not a big Kiss fan, you still like this song. That's what I've heard people say when they're like, I'm not really into Kiss, but they do Love Gun, right? That's a good one. I'm like, yes, they do that. So for me, that's my number 16 is Love Gun.
All right. 16 for me is still staying with Love Gun. One of the great songs off of that album. And I know it's a fan favorite. Opens the album. That's I Stole Your Love. Another great Paul Stanley song.
It is very, very good. Okay, number 17. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of my greatest hits was Dynasty, and this one I would not compromise on with myself. I was like, this is staying on every edit of my greatest hits list. I love it that much. It's a creepy Gene song, but it works. Number 17 off of Dynasty is Charisma.
Nice. Great song. All right, my number 17 off of Love Gun. This is where it's one of those things. It's like, okay, if I'm making this for somebody else just as much as I'm making it for myself, I'm going to have to put this song on here. And even though I'm not entirely the biggest fan of the song, I respect the song and what it done for the band, and the fact that it's been a part of almost every Kiss show since Paul introduced it on Love Gun, and that is Love Gun itself, the song. So there's another one we had in common.
Yes. This one we will not have in common. I know that. I'm 99% sure we won't. Because I think you've been very vocal about saying you're not the biggest fan of this song, especially not the ending. Off of Destroyer, number 18, Do You Love Me?
Yeah. It's not on my list.
I didn't think it would be.
Yeah. I don't hate the song, but yeah.
I know you hate the ending.
I don't like the ending at all. No.
Yeah.
No. Preacher Paul comes out in force. Full force.
Yes.
Okay, my number 18. I am now moved on to the 3 tracks that I have off of Dynasty, and I'm like you, I had so many because Ace.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay. So what I did was I was fair with Dynasty, and I intentionally picked 3 3 songs, one from Paul, Gene, and Ace. No Peter.
Yeah. I get it.
And so my number 18 is 2000 Man, which you had on your list as well. Such a
Yeah.
great song for Ace to take a song and just totally take a cover song and just totally make it his and turn it into a rocker. I used to love playing this song when I was a kid. So I love playing it today. So 2000 Man from Ace off of Dynasty for me.
My number 19 is another one that I think people, they like it, they don't like it. I love it. I love its cheekiness. I love its timestamp. I love its just self-indulgence in a lot of ways. I love the story behind it. I love everything about it. At number 19, off of Love Gun, Plaster Caster. It's just it's just a good fun song. I mean, don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
It's just fun and playful, and it was like they wanted to be part of that so bad, and they still couldn't do it after writing a song about it. But yeah, it's just a fun song. So
I mean, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna park just for a second, just because of this, because we've talked about this song before, and just the tongue in cheekness of it, and just how Kiss is so good about, and I didn't really realize it when I was a kid, but all their sexual innuendos that they have in their songs, like "You pull the trigger of my love gun."
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that he was talking about his penis. When I was a kid, "Baby wants it bad. She wants a rocket ride." I mean, I didn't know that's what they were talking. But the song "Plaster Caster," when he says things like, "Things are complicating. My love is in her hands.
Mm-hmm.
There's no more waiting. She understands. The plaster's getting harder, and my love is perfection. A token of my love for her collection." I mean, it's just like, I didn't know what Plaster Caster was when I was 9 years old, 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just some of the innuendos. What does he say next? "My love's in plaster. She's a collector. She wants me all the time to inject her."
Yeah.
It's like, but those are just some of the great words that Gene. Gene got a bad rap in the 80s and the 90s for logging a fireplace, and he just got very blatant about it. But you have to remember all the way back to these guys were talking about, God, the very first album, "Nothing to Lose."
Yeah.
The subject matter of "Nothing to Lose."
Yeah. That didn't make my list. But yeah, and I think, like I said, it's such a great timestamp of the 70s and just kind of what was going on in the 70s. And then that specifically, the Plaster
And a
Caster.
little wishful thinking on Gene's part.
Yes. And I forget the woman's name that started it, but just what she was doing and just that whole kind of little history lesson you get with the song. And I had known about that before I'd heard the song for the first time, thanks to I think it was like a VH1. They used to do these really cool like countdowns, and they used to have, I think it was like the 100 most shocking moments in rock and roll. So that's how I first heard about it. And then I heard the song and I was like, oh, I know exactly what they're talking about. So I don't know. I love it. So that was my number 19.
My number 19, it's a Paul song, and it's off of Dynasty. And I mean, Paul's got so many good songs on Dynasty. I mean, he's got Magic Touch. He's got Sure Knows Something. He's got so many good songs. But in the end, the one I had to go with "I Was Made for Loving You." I mean, it's the biggest Kiss song ever. Most downloaded. The one, it's, Pophouse is licensing it for all kinds of movies and soundtracks and stuff now. So it's getting even bigger.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, even though there's other songs on Dynasty that I like better, or I really like Magic Touch.
Yeah.
Magic Touch is probably my favorite Paul Stanley song off of that album. But I Was Made for Loving You is what made to my list.
That was, yeah. I'm surprised that didn't make my list. And if I were to do this list right now, it probably would. But that, I mean, it did make my list at certain times, and I ended up taking it off. But my number 20, my last song off of the debut, one that we share in common, is Deuce.
Yeah.
Just a good song. It's just a heavy, good song.
Yeah.
And it's one that I would want on my greatest hits list.
And my number, yeah, it's on your guys' list. And
It
my
is.
number 20, we matched up on it as well. It is from Gene. It is off of Dynasty, and it is Charisma. I think Charisma is a, it was, a lot of people don't really think of Charisma as this way or not, but I think of Charisma to me is still a Demon song.
Yes.
It's still that attitude and ego that Gene has. I mean, he's just basically putting it out there that he is so very full of himself and, you know, and putting it in a great song. So,
yeah, this easily could have been on his solo album.
yeah,
I think easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right about that for sure.
Yep. All right. Well, that's a good list. You have a good list. Let's see how many we match up. We matched up on 1, 2, 3.
8.
Wow. 8 out of 20. That's
Mhm.
pretty good.
It was She, 2000 Man, Cold Gin, Detroit Rock City, Parasite, Love Gun, Charisma, and Deuce.
That's pretty good. 8 out of 20. All right. So in the next video next month, we'll be back for volume 2, and we are going to go from 80, which will start with Unmasked,
Mhm.
to 89, which I think goes through discography.
It would be Hot in the Shade.
It is Hot in the Shade?
Yeah.
So, wow, that's how many albums is that? 1, 2,
A lot.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good God, it's 8. That's 8 albums. Yeah, so that's going to be very challenging because we're going to go from Unmasked through Hot in the Shade. So that includes Unmasked, Elder, Creatures of the Night, Lick It Up, Animalize, Asylum, Crazy Nights, Hot in the Shade.
So we're going through a lot of band changes. We're going through a lot of music changes. We're going through a lot.
Yep. And we're keeping it at 20 tracks?
Yep.
All right. That's going to be very challenging, but
That's what makes it fun.
That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it fun. Yep. So you're looking at an average of like 2 point something songs per album. So basically, you're going to get either 2 songs off of an album or 3 songs off of an album, and you'll have to cut and compromise somewhere.
Right.
So to me, I think it's almost going to have to come down to, I may have to do something along the lines as what song I believe is the best representation of that album. I don't know what I'm going to have to. I'll have to figure out what I want to do. You're just going to pick which ones you like.
I'm just picking which ones I like. I'm not really thinking too much about it.
Yeah, you know me. I got to overthink everything. All right. Well, now your job is to put your list down in the comments. Pick 20 songs off of those albums that we were just talking about, that we picked our songs off of. Put it down in the comments. Let us know what you think about the video, and like and subscribe if you haven't already. Carla, I will see you next month.
Yep.
And I'm sure that hopefully we will have a lot more current events to discuss as well in just a month's time. And
Yes.
we'll be starting to get into the spring, and we'll have this very challenging greatest hits list to discuss when we come back in April.
Yes.
All right. All right. So that's all I've got for this one. Thanks for everybody for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
All right. So that brings me to my number 10. This is off of, these are next viewer off of Detroit Rock City. These,
I know what you meant.
It's been a long week.
Yeah.